is that a lot of people feel, because of the way things are laid out for us around purpose in our culture, that your purpose has to be to help someone else. That's not necessarily true. It can be to help other people, and that's great. In fact, if you help lots of people, that's wonderful. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with it. And what I would say is, if that's what you feel called to, please be sure that you are stable first to yourself, internally.
It starts here.
It starts with you, because if you are unbalanced and you're dragging all these people with you, then you just bring them into chaos. It's sort of like this analogy that I have of, if you're walking by a river, you're walking along a riverbed, okay, and there's a raging river with lots of like class 5 rapids right next to you, and the bank of the river is really rocky. So you're, trying to maintain balance, and the rocks are slippery, and it's, jagged and all that stuff. Now, if you're unbalanced yourself and you're trying to help someone along who's, very young, 5 years old or older, even, in their elder, and you're trying to help them walk, if you're unstable, you're just going to pull them into the water if you fall. So you need to be really certain that you are stable yourself before you, quote unquote, start helping other people. Serving other people is fantastic. It's great. Yeah. But ask yourself first, are you internally stable enough in terms of your spirit growth to help others? And are you doing this really out of pure heart? Or are you doing it because you want accolades? Are you doing it because you want everyone to be like, wow, look how wonderful I am because I'm serving in this way? So there's nothing wrong with that, because we're human, and one of the basic human needs is like wanting to be recognized as significant, and having this feeling of I'm special. So there's nothing wrong with it, but just notice if that's what's driving you, if you need to be recognized in that way. So if you can recognize it, then you can let it go. That's the wonderful thing about it. So it's just about, this whole process is about not only letting go of the frequency patterns, but noticing the frequency patterns that we tend to have, the ones that happen over and over again that drive us. And the reason is because once you see that sucker, you can let it go. But if you don't see it, it's pretty darn hard to let the thing go. Right? If you're not even aware that you're holding this like heavy, 10-pound weight that you've had your whole life, how can you let it go? It's just part of you. Right? But if all of a sudden you have awareness around it, you're like, oh, look, there's this 10-pound weight here. Well, maybe I can put that down. Right? It's like if you're not paying attention to your nose, you're not really aware that it's there, but all of a sudden you think about your nose, oh, there it is. It's the same thing.